information from Friday. A couple of days were nuts. We survived the week, which is always a good thing. Closing price 67.34. Got it. All right. 11.17 today. Okay. So we'll recenter this at 67.34, essentially from all the volatility on Friday. Thursday's closed, Friday's closed, just within a couple of points. Market's down a little bit today. Let's take a look at our gamma. Let's get some calculations, get our VIX, all that good stuff. So 67.34. We might have a slight gap to the downside. S&P futures down, NASDAQ futures down, Dow futures down, Russell futures down, VIX up over 20 again. Here's a 21 VIX. Watch that 50-day poke. See if that just continues to be a thing. Maybe it's like test 50, test 50. Again, caught some interesting content this week. I'll share this more tomorrow, but gold is down. Silver is up slightly. Bitcoin 95. I talked about Bitcoin last week. Technically, I think that it might slip into the low 90s. It might slip into the 87. It's testing, that's for sure. I think it was whether it was uncertainty. Maybe it was a saying, fatigue makes cowards of us all, something like that. Where I think this market is just the risk appetite is fatigued. The sentiment's so bad. Consistently, it's just terrible sentiment, despite the market being at all-time highs. So anyway, lots to talk about this week. Sorry for the delay. Let's crunch some numbers. Let me get my workspaces up. So Qs slightly lower, SPY slightly lower. It's not terrible. Consider the VIX at 21. We're only looking at like a $1 move, a fraction of 1%. See what this does for the day. We get our gamma levels. So get all my workspaces. This is our gamma for the day. It is a Monday. The market did give us kind of two wild and crazy volatility days, even though Friday was I think Friday was within the market maker move, wasn't it? Maybe it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was Thursday to Friday, basically unchanged, but Friday's gap, 67 points from the open to the close. That was 2 days market makers kind of failed to do their job as far as intraday trading goes. But, we did survive. I know we're going to talk a lot of daily profit play this week. I do want to schedule a couple of either one or two masterclasses this week, which the focus of this week's masterclass for daily profit play is not only our core strategy, but also core strategy plus defense. I think this combination has been working very, very well, especially the last couple of months. And we just continue to get the strategy refined, and we're trading and making money in a crazy high volatility environment. I mean, if anybody were to tell you I'm day trading in a 20 plus VIX environment, they would. I mean, historically speaking, that correlation would be nuts. Like you'd expect just crazy swings throughout the day. I mean, if we go 21 VIX, let me go my pinch point here. So this VIX is 20.97. Okay. So we're looking at 20.97. Oops. Sure I did that right. 20.97. So about a 1.31 percentage point move is potentially expected. Now, again, if the VIX is going higher today and we gap lower, you want to monitor your VIX levels to see where the downside can be. So don't necessarily call the lows. With two pretty crazy market maker days, I would think that today might be a little bit more within the expected. I'm guessing here, might be within the expected move. Okay, so 20.96, expecting like 1.3, 1.31. We'll get our levels. I got one more workspace here to bring up, I think. This one for intraday. So there was our 67.40 from last week on Friday. There was a lot of drama there. Net, we still won the day, which I was happy with. And I had a couple of you email me like, wow, what a crazy roller coaster ride. And yeah, to a point, yes. The way to kind of test yourself as a trader is eventually when days like that on a roller coaster ride, it's more just like, let's see what happens. I mean, you accept the challenge, you accept the price action. This is nothing we can control, but we stick to a plan, we stick to a process, and manage to grab some dollars on Friday and on Thursday. Thursday was actually I think a bit more of a challenging day to grab some profit simply because the direction was so far down for the day. But we did use our daily profit indicator. We did calculate out with our VIX. We did have a pretty good idea where that bottom was. And I actually left money on the table on Thursday because of that broke wing butterfly. So anyway, whatever, we'll figure it out. That's kind of the fun part is we'll figure it out. And so I think this week having a masterclass for all my daily profit members. If you want to be a daily profit member, let's talk about it. But it's a good way to get this kind of day-to-day stuff mapped out. As long as we are understanding risk management and how to get the stuff mapped out for like the core trade, a little defense doesn't hurt. I certainly like the idea that we can minimize, any wild and crazy day, we can minimize the risk. One thing is have the discipline not to overtrade. I mean, me having a core trade in and then 1 to 2 defense trades, that's it. Like I shouldn't have to go more than that because the defense trades are going to be low vol or low risk. They should be low risk trades. I've done it in the past where it's like, oh, I'm going to take a little bit more risk, try not to do that. Try not to compound my risk on daily profit plays. Okay. I haven't decided yet. Today is, I don't know if today is going to work. I think tomorrow is probably better for masterclass. So today's pretty jammed and this morning's pretty wild. So probably tomorrow. Because I have GAM report, I have live sessions, I've got other classes, so Mondays are usually jam packed. I'm going to see if I can get one in tomorrow afternoon, either 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. tomorrow. We can go for like 60 to 90 minutes masterclass. We'll plan on Tuesday. Okay. All right. Jim says, do you use TradingView as your main charting platform? Yeah, I do. Okay, so we're centered. Let's get our numbers. VIX is 21.04. I'm going to go up a little bit higher here, 2104. So maybe a 1.31. My VIX box should be about that. 1.31. Okay, so about 68.20. Because we're going to be gapping lower, let's take the gap plus the downside. Okay, so I'll kind of go down. We're down about 0.26. So VIX is going up a little bit. We're going to gap maybe 0.2% lower. So 67.18 plus 1.31. 66.30. 66.30, 66.25. Potential low. That's VIX at 2104. Okay, so again, be mindful of the low. If we're looking to call a low here, if the VIX is going up to 22.5, 23, it was last week's high. I think 23 was the high VIX. If the VIX is going up, then you're going to want to recalculate and just shift this down a little bit. Okay, on Thursday, when I calculated the low, I had like a 1.32 or 1.33. And I think the day itself went all the way down to 1.4, but settled like pretty much exactly where we needed it to. That's where I put the defense trades in the profit traps. Okay. So it makes it challenging, but it worked out. Okay. 66.30, 66.25. Let's go from the close 1.31. That's right at the VIX box high, 68.20, 68.25. Okay, so right in there. And we'll keep a look. Please move your talking window above the working trading window. I don't know what the display is. What's it look like when we talk about my video? My video should be just like a tiny piece like above, right? When it goes to zoom, it's like, isn't it my face on the very, very top in the center and then the whole chart? Okay. I mean, the display to me looks different. I'm showing my entire screen. Can you switch? Is there an option for you to like switch the display? I don't know. Deanna, can we have like the video for me, like my face? Can it go somewhere else? I don't know if we can change up the settings on Zoom if that's what it takes, or if it's on the user's end. I'm not sure. Okay. All right. I'm bringing up the Rourke platform. We have just a minute before the open. We're ready to go. So pre-market. Now we're doing point 0.3. You get an eye on futures here. I'm going to pull up another workspace. It's not the one that I wanted. Good one to have handy, but I'll save that for later. I want to go futures this morning. This one. Okay. All right. There's my 1 hour. Here's my short term. So we're at the VWAP. I'm just looking at futures here to see how price behaves. So we're already at like a lower. It's like a lower band 2 VWAP. Usually prices don't go. You can look back into this thing. You see that prices don't typically, hit the outermost bands. So hitting that second ribbon typically ends up being hit the second ribbon, reverting back into find like center VWAP. So I wouldn't be surprised if the market, still cooperates today. So let's have a look. 17th. Expecting like a plus minus 46 points on the day. Again, buckle up for some volatility. I'm probably going, low delta. We do have a gap right here. Let's take a look at our gamma. Sticky gamma around 67.30. Gamma pivot 67.55. Let's open up real time. Exponential prior. I use EMAs. All right, here's real time. Make sure this is exclusively 0 DTE. It is. Okay, good. So right in between the opening or close from last week and 50% ATR. I mean, there's room. We calculate out our numbers. Let's get our calculation. Let's see. So today, see if things are relatively chill. Okay, I've got 67.75. So it's about 65 to 70 points above versus the expected, market makers around 46. So 75.80. 50% ATR is at 80. I'm going to go a little bit lower. I'm going to go 80.85. And then do a 10 delta. See if price can just come to us. 66.15 is a 10 delta. 85 cents. 66.15. The lows last week, lows at 46. Sneak in that. I mean, it is Monday. Let's see if we can let this one fill for a dollar. I can always put some defense trades in if needed. So, all right. Pending order for a dollar. 67.80, 85, 66.20, and 15. That's going in chat for Daily Profit Play members. Today's the 17th. Okay, see if price will come to us. All right. So trade is in pending. We're trading around 95 cents right now. A little nudge to the upside could get us filled for a buck, which would be nice. If it fills, I mean, I'm going to wait for a dollar. I know we talked about this last week, like one day last week. I didn't get filled for a dollar. It's trading at 90 cents, 95 cents. We get another push to the upside. Hopefully a dollar can fill. I had a feeling from the second band here in futures that, yep, got filled for a buck. That's okay. So little direction, little fill. We're reasonably out of the way. We're up here towards the 50% ATR. So that one just got filled. I can update that in Telegram now. So for members, filled. So that's 935. Okay. Setting, looking for 70-cent debit or lower profit. Okay. So DPP on the day. And I'm going to throw out a couple of calculated moves. VIX at 20.61, already a little bit of a retreat. Is it possible? What's our ADR on the day? ADR is at 71. So 71 puts us around 76. Okay, we're at an 80.85. Yep. It might, I mean, hopefully it's not. I mean, I don't want it to be close. I want it to be like just stay within our level. So 80, 66.20. So 67.80. $67.80 and 66.20. Okay, so these are the levels I'm watching today. Defense. We're going to get a defense trade in. Right now, it's going to be defense trade based on a broken wing butterfly or my VIX box. So going from close, VIX is retreating, but I'm going to use that 20.14. That's the 1.31%. I'm going to look at this like 20 to 25. So from here, 1.3 is a 21. So I'll start a butterfly here, 2025 on the call side. Oops. 68. I'm going to go 20, 25 here. See if this will take for either 50 cents or a dollar, but I'm going to try for a buck. Okay, so putting in a pending, and the reason I call this defense, but truthfully, it's just a good trade, like a topping trade. I mean, pretty confident through our day to day for daily profit play. I mean, with the VIX, the current volatility, watching prices, we've got the daily profit play indicator. Um, we generally, for a fairly low risk trade or manageable risk trade, like I'd be risking 400 to make 100, but I also have a defense trade that gives me up to a $5 profit trap. So I get a little bit more wiggle room there. I don't usually go super wide and super risky on the butterflies. So it's just going to be basically a skip strike, which means I'm buying the 20, I'm selling the 25 with two contracts, and I'm buying the 35. So I'm just skipping the 68.30 on that trade. Okay, so that's pending. And again, it's trading for 10 cents. It's nowhere close to getting filled. But if we're going to come up and hit, VIX box highs today, then this gets filled. Um, and I kind of like where it's at. Like that'd be hopefully a pretty safe way to get the top in today. But obviously for a Monday, I don't want to see a bunch of direction. I want prices to not be wild. But with VIX over 20, it's like that's hard to figure out. Where's a class for a newcomer to come learn all this? Scott, if you're in, as a member, we'll do a masterclass this week on daily profit play. We'll dissect all this stuff. I'm gonna be able to slide on a masterclass for Tuesday. Okay, so lots to unpack for masterclass this week. All right, so we'll keep an eye on all this stuff today. Hopefully, it's like I said, Mondays are usually pretty chill. I know the VIX is high, but hopefully, market makers after 2 wild and crazy days do their job. Okay, what's important on the bigger time frames is that if we continue to hold above the 50-day moving average, this is an encouraging sign that the bulls are still here, right? So this high to low, this retest, if we are going to, it doesn't have to be like today's got to be super bullish. It just needs to stay above the 50-day. I mean, now we're kind of putting in two important levels where price needs to stay weird. Price needs to stay above this level. Stay above this level. As long as these are defended, it should be pretty good. There we go. So these levels right here, as long as the bulls can maintain that and the bears don't do much damage, then we're just in some indecision. Okay. Um, yeah, I know. But remember, we had a plus or minus 40, 46 on the day. Now it's down to 39. We're still at the upper end of this expected move. If things kind of recenter, it's okay. I will still kind of watch for some defense just in case. If you wanted something cost effective, it's, I don't know. I mean, I don't have any gamma to throw like a defense trade up here. I mean, we're talking about like, okay, so the risk is to the upside today. Like, is it? I don't have any positive gamma up here. I have the pivot at 55, but are we really going to go to 80 today? That's my call side is all the way up here. So I have very little evidence that order flows are going that way. It's like we're stickiest around 67.30 and maybe 6700, which would be kind of where we test off the lows this morning. So I think we're going to be fine. Okay. All right. So let's put in our take profit. I'll keep an eye on that one. I'm going to go after, so 70 or lower. I'm just going to go 55. That's a pretty safe one. I'm like, I think we had a good entry. See if price stabilizes. It's a Monday. If things are pretty calm, I'm going to go after a slightly larger take profit today. 55 cents. Okay. If things look really calm this morning, then I might lower that to like, 30 cents or 25 cents. But I think 75 is great. 70 is probably the mechanical, percentage we should always go after. But if it looks like, with the 10 delta, sometimes it works a little bit nicer where it's like a 10 delta gets filled. It's by design a pretty high probability trade. Sometimes we can, kind of assess price for the day. We've talked about this a lot in certain in classes like Mondays and Wednesdays historically for 3 years have shown that, there's usually the calmest of the days. Thursdays, Fridays, Tuesdays tend to get a bit more directional, but we still just do our thing every day. So I'm going to set it at 55 and just kind of hang out in this. But if I'm down to like 70 or 75 or 65, I can, take profit, no problem. Okay. Thanks, Donna. Yeah, Scott, I mean, you're in good hands, dude. If you like my style, I'm here to trade. I'm here to, make some money. And I teach exactly how I do it. So, waterfalls, one specific method, daily profit plays, one specific method. There's a lot of ways to tackle the market, but our goal is to have enough, tools in the toolbox or arrows in the quiver to get the job done, either in this case, like short term, day to day or week to week. And just, I mean, for the most part, keep it pretty simple and keep it repeatable, keep it, probabilistic. So all good. All right. Well, so now what we need in daily profit is time. That's all we need. We need time. Okay. So for this week, let me get up my emails. And I'll get that class slotted for tomorrow. Okay. Anything else wild and crazy going on today? All right. So for tomorrow, let's see, because I've got waterfall today at 11:30. Um, let's schedule match class a little bit earlier tomorrow. John, is it a problem to do like noon? You guys want a little power lunch master class tomorrow? Usually I schedule them at 1 or 2 o'clock, but I've got a couple calls in the afternoon. Let's do a noon, 12 Eastern time, Tuesday. So daily profit play masterclass. I'll do a 12 noon Eastern time. Let's get a big crowd in there. So, current students, new students pop into daily profit play masterclass tomorrow at noon. We'll obviously be trading every day of the week this week, 9 a.m. And then I'll probably sprinkle in another class. So doing like a Tuesday, cover everything, have like an encore class maybe on Thursday. That gives some more people a chance to come in. Typically, with the way these sessions work in webinars, I've got people that come in. Hey, I missed your class on Monday. I missed your webinar session. Blah blah blah. So let's do a Tuesday, Thursday. Okay. So Tuesday at 12 noon. Thursday I'll push it to like 1:30. We'll do a DPP masterclass. All right, Dion, I'm going to message this right now. Hopefully that schedule's okay. All right, so DPP master classes Tuesday 12 p.m. Eastern time and Thursday 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. Walter, yep. That's pretty much exactly what a master class is going to be for. Any other broker recommendations? Where you at? What country? Interactive Brokers is probably, I hope it's not the only alternative, but usually Interactive Brokers is everywhere. Um, it depends on where you're at. Stockbroker, bridge and trade options. Interactive brokers is pretty safe. They're everywhere. I just don't love them. Even from the retail side, I didn't love them as an institutional trader and portfolio manager. I couldn't stand interactive brokers. Their fees were ridiculous. Their enterprise level pricing is outrageous. I mean, I get a real time feed for $15 a month as a retail trader. It was 10 grand um, as a hedge fund manager. And then you go, you want to add the VIX, you want to add the stuff. It's like we're paying like $50,000 for data feeds with interactive brokers, which is crazy. So we obviously like trim that down. I obviously use TradingView charts. I had real time data that I was paying for. It's like I had retail accounts I was using. So we modified it to save some cash, but still ridiculous. South Africa, very new order flow plus options platforms. Yeah, I mean it can be, which is why I think it's also a joke. Like the fact that they've gotten away for all these years, like charging enterprise level prices is insane. I mean, it's just the assumption of like, oh, you're a professional, you're managing tens of millions of dollars. It's like, I mean, maybe you should be, but not necessarily. So Cabello, I mean, I don't really have a great answer other than, I mean, you can search like you're in South Africa, like best stocks and options brokers. So for South Africa, interactive brokers. I mean, you can look and see. So guide breaks down the best share trading platform in South Africa. Okay. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a reliable uh, thing there. So we go in about, okay, best brokers for option trading in South Africa. This is as of October, investing in the web. So interactive brokers, best overall, Tasty Trade says brokers in South Africa. So you don't have Tasty Trade? Is this like some AI generated site? Just assuming that everyone can have, I mean, according to that, we have CFA and FinTech. Do these not apply? IG, this is going to be for CFDs, Tasty Trade. If you don't have Tasty Trade, which I'm surprised, South Africa, I feel like you have Tasty Trade. Yeah, I know Canada. I've gone. When Tom Sosnoff and Scott Sheridan were with Tasty Trade, they just recently left and started their One Lucky Dog and Lost Dog site. But they're just building something new. But anyway, they left Tasty in great hands, and Tasty's still an awesome platform and a great broker. But anyway, I was surprised. I mean, I worked with their team for years and years and years, and I kept asking, like, is Canada on the horizon? On the horizon. I've got lots of people in Canada that are asking, like, for me to manage some capital for them. And I told them the best way to do it for my advisor account is through Tasty Trade, but no Tasty Trade account, which is kind of annoying. But a lot of it was not, it's just the government. Like the government either is putting in regulations or the margin side is so low for Canadian traders, or the buying power reduction is so high for Canadian traders. Like they just kept going back and forth with Canada, and they ultimately said like, we'll come back and revisit it. So it's not a done deal. It's just um not available now. So maybe in 6 months, 12 months, regulatory wise, maybe it gets better. But it was just a tough thing dealing with Canada for whatever reason. Okay, Gunnerman, we're already in the trade. I'm already in a daily profit trade. Quest Trade, I know I've heard Quest Trade for Canadian traders is okay, but again, fees are pretty high. Interactive brokers fees are high. Quest Trade fees are high. Don't love it, right? Just depends. So look, this isn't the conversation that we have. It's like you're in Canada, you're in South Africa, you're wherever. Do some homework, do some research. I want you all to have the best broker. Unfortunately, not every broker is available all over the world, but if you have a chance to trade options permissions, great. You're off to a good start. If you are trading with a broker, that's kind of the only like trader for you, the only platform for you. That's okay. Hopefully there are better options in the future, or try to do your best to negotiate down some of the fees and commissions to make it a little bit more competitive. Okay. So interactive brokers, I mean, yeah, and interactive's not terrible, but their fees are bad. I mean, interactive brokers is charging probably 2 to 3 times what I get for Tasty Trade, which doesn't make it great at all to me, you know? So, but I mean, from a one-stop shop, indexes, stocks, options, futures, crypto, forex, like everything in Tasty Trade, or I'm sorry, Interactive Brokers is great. So that is one thing helpful, but it just, as a trader, it's like, what you're signing up for. You know your risks, you know your permissions, you know what you can and can't trade. And obviously the broker's like, these are our fees. Sometimes they're willing to listen and budge, and sometimes they're not. But that's all. So just do some homework. All right. So for our levels on the day, daily profit play, I need price to stay below 67.80. Price to stay above 66.19. Right now, it's just been a pretty steady grind to the upside. We came right up to this 50 to 55 zone. That was the positive and negative gamma pivot. So we're right there at it. Hopefully, again, as a Monday, it'd be nice to see a price can just kind of go. So this low, this high, maybe it gets sticky between this and this. If we get up to the 50% ATR, that's okay. I just don't want to see it exceed it, right? So we will see if prices kind of go up for the morning, settle in, maybe recenter. That's where our daily profit play gets paid. Goes up for the morning, stalls here for the morning. That's where we get paid for daily profit play. Our line in the sand is 80. So do I have some defense? Yeah, but I put the defense up here at the calculated top. So I'm not going to play defense yet. I think we can just, let our trade marinate as is, and hopefully it's enough to give us a winner. But the risk for me is above 85. So if I'm looking at risk, it's like, okay, do I have a, cheap enough way to trade like a 6,800? If I wanted to play defense, maybe trading like a 6,800 butterfly and trying to get something that's less than $1 as my maximum cost, right? And then I have this potential profit trap like we did on Thursday, Friday last week. Like that wouldn't be a terrible idea as long as it's cheap enough to trade that. Question is it cheap enough to trade it? So if I went up to, let's say, 6,800, my weak spot is between 85 and 90. So if I did a 90 on the put side and 10 on the call side, I mean, I can take this trade for like a 65-cent risk. If I went 15 wide, just over $1. So I mean, 10 wide is okay, right? Like that's really, really cheap. So if you are worried that price can get above our call side, which we did like a 9 delta, it's a very low delta. So technically speaking, from a day-to-day standpoint, we shouldn't see prices getting above 80 to 85 today. We shouldn't. So I don't want to just throw this trade in, because if I do, now I have to go either one, full profit and daily profit play, or obviously manage end of the day. I need to manage my my defense trade, right? So I'm gonna wait, because if price just stalls for right now, we are still 32 points clear of our call side on daily profit play. Tuesday, Thursday, yes, correct. And Dr. John, I saw your email. I'll get your email and pinch point this week too. We'll talk about it. Yep, I see that, Deanna. I'm good. So your IG took over Tasty. Yeah, but it's still different, right? Because all IG took over was I mean, parent company's IG, but Tasty Trade is a, all asset platform. Like they do Tasty FX for their Forex side, which is traditionally what IG is a, global like Forex and CFD broker. So I don't know. I mean, I think they bought Tasty for the brand, to be honest. But anyway, all right, price is looking good. So we came up to the positive negative gamma pivot around 67.55. Prices pulling back off that a little bit. So we're getting closer to if we come back to like 67.35, 67.30, that's a nice recentering on the day. That should be offering us a pretty good profit on the daily profit play. So right now our trade is um, still down. It's weird. I guess some break even. You can see it up here in the upper right hand corner. It's down like 10, 15 cents. So, a lot happened in the first 28 minutes of trading. So it's probably why there's a bit of a drawdown, but nothing that we can't handle. All right. So if I want to go cheap enough, I mean, are we going to go? It's like maybe. So I mean, I hate to do this because I'm just eating into my profit. But if I did the defense trade from 6,800, 10 and 90, it's like doing that trade for 920, 930. It's like I can still win on the day with a potential like, 9-to-1 profit trap. Let's see if we get this for like 950. It's got filled for 950 on that 10 wide profit trap. Okay, so now my change of plans is I'm going to go after a full daily profit play. And again, you don't have to take this trade. Daily profit play by itself is still totally a good trade. But in case we're going to see upside risk today, I'm going to take this 950 credit, which is only a 50-cent risk, up to $9.50 a profit. And if I need price to be defended above the 60, 67, 80, 85 zone, we have a chance to do that. So again, I'm going to put this in for daily profit play optional. Okay. Optional defense trade. So my DPP call side threat level is 6780. I'm adding a cheap defense play for 950 credit, which means it's a 50-cent max risk. So it's defense 1117. So I'm doing the 6800, 6810, 6800, 6790. $0.50 max risk, 950 max profit if price. Profit trap from 6790.50 to 6809.50 at end of day. And I don't think we necessarily have to hope we get in the profit trap because we got to just keep an eye on price. So we're just chilling. I think honestly, the way this thing settles on the day is we'll have like close to a full winner on daily profit play. I'll sacrifice 50 cents on the defense and I'll make $50. That's probably the net result today. Okay. So after a wild and crazy couple of days, again, I rely on the edge that market makers set. They let the markets get a little slippery on Thursday, Friday. I don't think they're doing it 3 days in a row. So I think today's going to be, close to a full winner daily profit play. The nice thing about that cheap defense trade is if daily profit play is looking good for $50 and this thing's down like 10, just take the small loss. Like take the small loss for 10, take your 50, $60 on daily profit play, and you're net positive on the day. Because now my job is to manage the day. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4. So DPP defense. And now between these two, defense, so daily profit play, which is now, fluctuating back and forth, but my defense trade, I'll just keep an eye on. And then between these two, if I've got net profits, I'll manage the net profits on the day. All right. Yep. Masterclass. So, by the way, if you're sending messages, if you like everyone to see them, we keep the chat open for these daily sessions. So for daily profit plan that we run free for everybody, you can send the message to everyone. So there's a little blue bubble there in Zoom. If you want to send the message to everybody, then we can all see it. That way, members can watch this as well. Usually it's a little bit more engaging to see that everyone has an open chat. So if you just want to contact me, that's fine, or Diana, but usually everyone's okay and comfortable like sending out to everyone. So change that. Okay. Ernesto, what's a reasonable commission? I mean, I'll say $1, to be honest. Like if you can do a round turn for $1, that's pretty fair. Usually brokers are somewhere in the realm of like $1 to $1.50, maybe $1 to $2. So like entry in, entry out, maybe $1 to $2. That's pretty fair. And I'm saying that like per contract. So, I take 4 leg trades. I get it. I know that my trade cost me $2.40 because it's 60 cents. It's 60 cents entry only, but it's on four legs. So I pay $2.40. So if I make, $100 on the day, I'm netting 97 and change. And everyone that's like the fees. Yes, I get it. But right now, option trading is not free. I don't think option trading will ever be free. Futures trading is not free. Forex trading is not free, right? Buying a stock is free. Buying an ETF is free. Okay. Options, not free. Futures, not free. Forex, not free. There's spreads. So I think that, $1 to $2 is pretty fair. Some brokers are higher, some brokers are lower. I've negotiated my fees down pretty aggressively at Tasty because I look after some capital and I take, 20,000 trades a year. So they're pretty generous to me, but 60 cents is pretty low. But they don't budge from there. And I don't get any discount on, the CBO fees, the futures feeds. When I trade indexes, I still have to pay a CBOE feed or CME feed for SPX. So it's, it adds up, but I'm not complaining and, nickel and diming over like, hey man, I'm losing $4 on this trade. Well, I made 100. So it's the cost of doing business. And until it's free, I'm, going to the best broker I can. Yep. So exactly. I get it, but those are fees that I can't work around. So the only other there's one buddy of mine that trades, and I don't know the broker that he works with. I want to say it might be Tradier, Tradier. And with my interactor, or this is Dynamic Trend. Dynamic Trend, they have a trade station and a Tradier relationship where they can go plug in directly to those brokers if you want to use them, and it doesn't waive fees or anything. I'm just saying you get the data feed for free versus the Quote Stream Media aggregate. But the only friend that I know that traded, I'm pretty sure it's Tradier, and he tells me, part of me is skeptical of this, that he's paying a flat fee for the month. And if I was paying a flat fee for the month and I trade as much as I do, that would be like the biggest ripoff for the broker and the best thing ever for me. So that's why I'm kind of skeptical. I'm like, what broker would allow a trader to do that? So I don't know, but if anybody has Tradier, let me know. If anybody trades, a broker that says, hey, it's X per month and you can trade unlimited as long as you're getting X, it's like, that is a huge disadvantage to the broker, if you ask me. And there you go. Bencat says flat 25 or 35 per month for options. I mean, literally that would be done in 10 trades for me. So if that's real, if that's true, then great. And I don't know if that's the way that they're just doing it to try to drum up business. And as long as a broker like that can give you, top level permissions where you can trade how you want, then it's a good consideration. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Trade Schwab, 35 cents per trade, right? That's pretty good, Mark. And that's, that's a 70-cent round turn, which is pretty good. They make a lot of money on the spreads. So are they marking up prices then? So their bid ask is wider? Huh. Interesting. I mean, like I said, there's always a catch. Like that just sounded, as soon as I heard that, I'm like, that's a ridiculous thing for a broker to do, but they do it. Anyway, again, this isn't a conversation that's going to go, put a pin in this, take like sidebar this for going to whatever broker. I don't care who we have for broker. I just want you to be happy and trade permissions that you want to trade. What I do believe in is no broker should tell you what you can and can't do. If you want to trade stocks, options, indexes, I'd hope a broker in your country allows you to do it. some fees are going to be higher than others, but it's it's a game. Like we play the game. If we have, if we want to have more options, I don't know. Would I consider leaving the US to go trade elsewhere? Yeah, I did. I mean, I started one of my first Forex accounts was in Singapore. Um, if I became a PR in Singapore, I'd be freaking happy. They pay like no capital gains taxes. They pay no real estate taxes. Money's treated very well over there. But I'm still a US citizen. So, the other than the tax credit, I mean, I was still paying US taxes. So anyway, yep. And like I said, if a broker listens, I mean, if you're an active trader, brokers listen. It's like I trade somewhere between 20, 30,000 trades a year. A broker's willing to hear me out. I'm active. I trade every single day, sometimes like 30, 40 trades a day. So brokers not too unhappy with that. They usually, they see your patterns. They see what you're doing. So anyway, all right, here's what's going to happen. Trades are looking fine. Daily profit play looking good for today. I'm going to keep the defense trading. It's down $7. The other trade's up, 40. So this one can only lose maximum of $50. It's not a big deal. This one, if I'm going after a full winner today, if this is up over 50, 60, $70, then I'll probably just take the net profit on the day. Right now, if I manage it, it's like I close this one down for 30. This one's down. It's like maybe I make like, it's like I'm not happy with like, hey, I made, $10 on the day. It's like I can let the entire day run and make a net $50, right? But I'll just kind of assess through the morning. But I think between these two right now, it's looking okay. Probably a Monday chill day, which should be good for daily profit play. Let it work. If you're not in the defense trade, great. Just manage your daily profit play. It's already looking like a pretty good winner. Yep. So Greg's out 115 down to 80. I saw somebody out at 130 down to 80. All good stuff. Okay. So here's what's going to happen. We'll keep an eye on this for the morning. I got to run. I got a hard stop here in like a minute. So Deanna has the daily profit play. We got a little webinar teed up, and we have a masterclass on Tuesday and